Welcome to my fourth and final part of the ranking all classes series. I'm so happy we are here, and today we are playing a summoner. I will say summoner is my favorite class in this game, so I'll, I really had a lot of fun here. So you know the rules. Every game is the same at the start, really. We just farm wood. I actually died a few times because I want to get the Abigail, and I really wanted the Abigail because it's a cool summon. It's even from Don't Starve. I like Don't Starve, so why not? I tried to get her, but I wasn't lucky enough for her to spawn. So, yep. After dying a few times, it is time for farming. The farming was pretty simple, you know, just farm, get what's there on the map. Of course, we build a house, which is super duper important, of course. We will start by just exploring because I wanted to get some weapons, and Summer doesn't really have that much options right now in the early game. So yeah, the first weapon I got is actually a whip from NPC, and it's a leather whip from Zoologist. It's only 10 gold, so it's pretty good actually because it's the only weapon I have. With the new acquired weapon, I decided to go and farm for the new whip in the jungle, which is super broken actually. And that weapon is a Snapthorn whip. So the Snapthorn whip is pretty much what I used a lot in this game playthrough. So because it's new, I never tried, and it's strong, so it's okay. Still nothing from the Abigail. Unlucky. I actually didn't get Abigail from the start to the end of the game. I never seen the flowers, so I just have to figure something out. And the idea was to get to the snow biome and get the fling staff, but it's actually super hard to farm. I spent a lot of time on that, and it was cool but not really necessary. But I really wanted to have some summon weapon since I am playing summoner. So yep. So after acquiring the Flink Staff, I decided it was time to fight some bosses. First boss we're gonna fight is obviously the King Slime. King Slime is pretty simple as always, nothing special. This whip is really strong. I see why people don't like it that much, but I think it's fine since Summoner really needed something like this in the early game especially. So I like it. Next boss is Eye of Cthulhu. Eye of Cthulhu is pretty much the same as King Slime, it's just flying, you know. After the Eye of Cthulhu, I go straight to the Brain of Cthulhu. The Brain of Cthulhu is pretty simple. It's really similar like in the male playthrough with the melee weapon from the jungle. It's super strong because of the thorns, and the brain just can't touch you really, and the boss fight is pretty simple. So after beating these three bosses, I decided it was time to expand my elevator a little, farm a little more, because now after defeating the Brain of Cthulhu, we can finally make our first summoner armor, which is obsidian armor. And it's really good summoner armor for the pre-hard mode. Plus I can make new pickaxe and imp staff, which really boosts my damage since fling staff is good but not really close to the imp staff. Imp staff is still the superior summon here. The next thing we want to do after exploring is obviously beat the Skeletron, which is the next boss. So the next pair of bosses is actually Queen Bee, then Skeletron, my bad, sorry. Yeah, Queen Bee is pretty simple since I'm really geared up right now. Skeletron 2, I have really good stuff and they were pretty simple. And that actually concludes pretty much almost every pre-hard mode boss in the game. Which means it's finally time for the Wall of Flesh and entering the hard mode. Wall of Flesh wasn't really that hard, it was just long fight and yeah. After the Wall of Flesh I finally reached the hard mode and I was really happy since I think Summoner really thrives in hard mode. So yeah, let's go! So what's actually interesting is that right after I entered the hard mode, a few bosses just spawned and that's pretty cool, I guess. The destroyer spawned in the house and he destroyed me. Obviously, I wasn't nearly prepared for him. After the destroyer, I just tried to go to explore a little and Deerclops spawned. Deerclops is pre-hard mode boss, so it's pretty simple. I beat him without a sweat really. And after that the twins spawned and they destroyed me too, which is very fun actually. But despite of that, I really farmed a lot of Soul of Light and Soul of Night and all of the things hard mode gives you. I even entered the dungeon and spent a little time there. Farmed for the wings, a lot of time spent there. Because I really wanted harpy wings and there was no way I can get that big harpy feather. So yeah, the idea was to beat the twins and then get the summon from the twins so I can have a new minions that are strong, but it wasn't really that easy. I actually managed to beat them like third time I fought them, and at the same night that I beat the twins I really wanted to rush things, so I summoned the Skeletron Prime at the same night and it was going pretty well, I must say. And the funny thing is that while I fought the Skeletron Prime, the day came, so the logical thing is that he is going to despawn, but when he was so low and I fought him and he was going away from my screen and I killed him while he was despawning, so I actually managed to beat the 2 mechanical bosses in one night, which is super good for my time spent at this playthrough. So the only mechanical boss left is the destroyer. Destroyer wasn't really that hard since I got the new whip and a new summon. Since we are in hard mode, I am using hard mode stuff, which is for the mechanical bosses, which is spider armor, spider staff for the minions, and for the whip I used cool whip since I was lucky to get the ice golem and I could make this whip, and this whip is really good, especially for the mechanical bosses, and I was really lucky to get this. So after the mechanical bosses with my new staff for minions, Optic Staff, I went straight to the jungle and built the arena for Plantera. The Plantera fight was actually harder than I thought, and here actually I realized that Summoner is a lot more squishy than other classes, and it's really needed to know how to dodge some things, because I can't just face tank something like other classes can, because my defense is super low. So I died first time on the Plantera, but the second time I fought Plantera I actually managed to defeat her, and yeah. after the Plantera, I upgraded my armor to Tiki armor, which you can buy from NPC, and it's really convenient, I must say. I also upgraded my whip to a mechanical boss's whip, and I was ready for the golem fight. The golem fight was pretty simple, and that's pretty much all. And after the golem fight and before the lunatic, I really wanted pygmy staff, so I farmed a little for that. Because I really thought the pygmy staff is going to help me a lot against the lunatic and the pillars. Then it was time for lunatic. Lunatic also beat me a few times, and it's always because of the new dungeon. He can always just, I don't know, go in the wall, and I have limited area to dodge, and it's really hard. So after the 2 times I tried him, I decided to make an arena outside of the dungeon, which worked again, like in the ranger video. And yeah, I wanted to farm a little too for the accessories, so I did that, and that's pretty much it. It was time for the pillars finally. Okay, so in the fight with the lunatic and pillars and the Moonlord, I used the same whip, which is Morning Star whip, that I got from the dungeon. I was lucky to get it, so I really didn't want to farm for any other whip, since this one is enough to finish the game. Finally, with the pillars, I can make the Stardust whip, and the Stardust whip is pretty much the go-to with the summoner. And yeah, the Moonlord fight was pretty interesting. I really wanted to maximize my whip damage, but it didn't work out really well the first time. I tried it again with the second time when I fought the Moonlord, and again it wasn't really that good of idea because I was taking a lot of damage, and I'm not really that good at dodging really, so I decided to go with another idea. And before that, I obviously have to farm again the whole process of lunatic, the 4 pillars, but the 3rd time is the charm, and I beat the Moonlord the 3rd time just running away and letting my Stardust Dragon just eat him. So I can say I beat the Moonlord, but actually my Stardust Dragon did it, so I'm happy. Since I'm summoner, that counts, okay? And that is pretty much everything in this video. This right here is the build I used to beat the Moonlord. This is everything I used. So thank you so much for watching, for spending your time on this shitty video. And yeah, as always, if you have a video idea you want me to do, please comment it. I will actually consider it. And that's all. Bye bye.